Before the video starts, go ahead and swing by to my Big Cartel website where you can buy some cool merchandise. Link is in the description down below. Hey, what's up guys? Truro here with another video. So today I had a problem with the Z32. My brake light, my battery light, and my ABS light turned on when at idle. And of course, when I started driving, to go to work with freeway and stuff like that, the lights came off. But when I stopped at a red light, the lights turned back on. So today we're gonna be switching out the alternator because I got it tested and the alternator is no good. But I do have a replacement here. I bought it for $20. It's fairly clean. It's a used alternator, but we're gonna slap this inside the Z32 and hopefully that fixes our problem. All right guys, so before we start, we gotta make sure we disconnect the batteries. We're gonna disconnect this bad boy. And that's it. Now we can take out the alternator with no problems whatsoever. Alright guys, so to take off the alternator, there's a 12mm bolt here. That's the tensioner. There's a bolt on the side of it and on behind it. So you guys got to use a 12mm bolt to take it off. Then there's also this black bracket right here. This black bracket is also attached with a 12mm bolt. I don't know if you guys can see my finger, but it's gonna be this one right here. That's attached with the 12mm bolt. You don't have to take it off, just loosen it so you can move the bracket back and forth. Then this top bolt right here is attached with the 13mm bolt. You're gonna remove that, and there's also a nut behind it, so you got to remove that. Then you have to take off the sensor. Just flip the alternator around, and then there's the ground cable that's connected with the 10mm bolt. Take that off, and that's it. You're good. You can just slip off the alternator through this this coolant hose right here. You can just slip it through and it should come off. All right, so we're gonna have to flip the alternator. I got my 10mm wrench right here. We're gonna flip it over because we already took off the sensor. We're gonna flip this bad boy over. It sometimes can be a pain in the butt, but you can do it. Just gotta be patient. All right, and we flip it over. There it is. It's right there. You can just slip this bad boy in. We're almost there. Is my hand in there? Get that 10mm wrench in. I don't have that much space, but just be patient, guys. It'll come off. It's the key thing of like replacing parts. Be patient. And this coolant line's in the way. It's all right. But yeah, working on a VG, it is a pain, but you can do it. Oh, I'll stick my hand in there. My hand fits in there. Just gotta keep twisting it off. Once you break it loose, it's easy. It's easy. All right, cool. It's coming off. Okay, the last thing I forgot to mention is you got to take off the sway bar. You just have to take off the body of it. You don't have to necessarily take off the end link, but you have to take them off on both sides so the alternator can slip off, so you can move it back and forth. And boom, alternator is out. Now all you got to do is slap the new one in, connect it, put everything back, and you're done. So we're gonna slip this one in. You only have 2 connections that need to be placed on the new alternator. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna slip this bad boy in. Nice and easy. Good thing the radiator hose is really flexible. Slap this bad boy in. Okay, it's slipped on. Now we gotta get the sensor. We gotta connect the sensor. Sensor is right here, and there's actually two cables that we need to connect. So I'm gonna connect sensor in first, which is on this side. All right, sensor is connected. Now these have two cables, one's for the battery and one's for the ground. So just connect those and you're done. And you just have to connect everything else. Once you connected everything, putting the alternator, it's kind of challenging, but with patience, you guys can do it. But once you guys put the alternator back, make sure you slip this top bolt right here, this top bolt. Make sure this slips through, and you put your nut on the back of it. But that's pretty much all you have to do. Not to, you know, put the bracket where it holds, and then give it tension, and we're done. We gotta slip this bracket back on. It's fairly easy. Actually, this has to go around like that. I gotta take off the belt too, just so we can slip this bracket back on. There we go. Now we can slip this bracket. Sweet. It's strapped down with a 12mm bolt. Keep twisting it on. All right, so next up, we gotta put the alternator slider or pivot point, whatever you guys want to call it. This one's fairly easy too. It slips on the bottom. Then you put your nut and bolt on the back. So you got your nut and then the bolt. Slip this bad boy in. And of course, the radiator hose is kind of in the way. But no worries. You can get to it. Almost there. Actually slipped on. Sweet. So that slips on, and then you get your tensioner bolt. Slip this to the back, and all you gotta do is bolt everything down. This slides here. This bolt's super long, so you gotta keep turning it until you see thread on the other side. Sweet. Okay, so you have your 12mm bolt for the bracket, which is right here. And we're gonna come all the way down, and you have your pivot, which is also your tensioner bolt right here. All you gotta do is just keep twisting it. And of course, you gotta make sure you tighten this bolt in the back as well. And then we gotta slip on the belt. put our sway bar bolts back on, and we're done changing the alternator. Alright, so once everything's tied down, the belt has a lot of tension. Once everything's nice and tight, last thing you need to do, or actually there's two things you need to do. You got to make sure your bolts for the sway bar are back on each side. So the reason why we took these off was because you can, you know, move the sway bar and bring the alternator down. And the last thing you need to do is connect the battery. Don't forget to connect the battery. All right, so we got to connect the battery. Battery's connected. Actually gonna have to get a new terminal. Make sure this is nice and tight. And now we have to start the car. So we're gonna go inside the car. All right, keys inside the ignition. We're gonna push the clutch in. Let the car prime. And that's it. Battery light is off. I just have my brake light, my seatbelt, and of course the door is open. That's how you change the alternator on the Z32. Alright guys, hopefully you guys found this video helpful. It is a pain in the butt to change an alternator on a Z32. The most difficult part, I have to say, is putting the new alternator back in. You guys have to put it in a weird angle to push it back in, but with patience you guys can do it as well. And after that, it's pretty much bolt everything back up, and it's pretty easy, and you just need basic tools. Alright guys, I'm gonna end the video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you guys have any questions, just comment down below. Also, if you guys haven't followed me on social media, please follow me on social media. I'm always doing daily updates on the Z32 and the 240, like it's freaking popping. But I'll see you guys on the next video. Later guys.
I done lived and did and done and seen it, you feel me? Go get it, keep your head up and just stay focused.
Every time you see me, I am the freshest. Every time you see me, I come collect it. Cash out at the dealer, I swipe the debit. Cash out at the dealer, ain't need no credit.